Okay, here we go. Okay, well, I am excited that you guys joined us tonight. What we're going to do tonight is I'm going to give you a ton of information about becoming a director. And I know some of you joined tonight just because you're curious, and some of you joined because you're actually interested in becoming a director. And what I want tonight to be is I'm sharing information, you take it or leave it. Just like when I do career chats, I share information, people take it or leave it. If you're interested, great. If not, great. But I also want you to know that this position is available for everybody. Just like becoming a Mary Kay consultant is available for everybody, so is becoming a director. And I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff tonight, so I would be sure to take a lot of notes. We're going to go through a lot of information as quickly as possible because I know we have people all across the country, literally in every time zone, and so I want to respect your time, especially my East Coast girls. So, but I have to tell you that these last few months, it's been so fun to have DIQs, and that stands for Director in Qualification, which I'll explain what that means, and to have people earning their free cars. And several of them are becoming directors this month and finishing up, and I love being a part of someone's journey into directorship, and it's really cool to see them grow as a leader through the process, and I want all of you to experience it if it's something that you want to do, okay? So we're looking for leaders to rise up, to help us reach our goal of million, but the $1 million goal is just the goal this year, and our goal, this year ends June 30th, so we only have 2.5 months left to reach our goal of million, but our big goal is to become a national area. And that means we need to build 20 directors to make that happen so we can build a national area and we can have a national. Because the only way you get a national is by developing a national area. So we're looking for leaders to rise up. And one of the things I want you to know is that DIQ is not hard. Directorship is not hard. I think that is something that as I'm going through this, I'm going to precurse all this with, I want you to, okay, you're going to have a lot of feelings going on in your brain over this next, however long it takes me to get through this. That anytime you hear yourself say, oh, I can never do that, or this or that, say, nope, it's not hard. It's easy. It's easy to become a director because it literally is. And literally this is just a decision away. And every single one of you can be a director and have what it takes to be a director, okay? I want you to ask yourself, do you like helping people? Do you like helping other people win? Do you love people? Do you care about people? If your answer is yes, then you'd be an amazing director, okay? So I don't want you to think about all the reasons why you couldn't be a director. I want you to ask yourself, okay, Candace asked me, do I love people? Do I like helping other people? Then that means you'd be a great director. You guys see me as a director, and you have to remember, I've been a director for 12 years. So the director you see now, it's 12 years in the making of becoming a leader and becoming a top director. That 12 years ago, when I was a new director, I was not this person. That I have grown over the 12 years. And so just know that the position that I'm at right now, you wouldn't automatically be working and doing those things that I'm doing because you work into it, okay? The other thing I want you to know before I go through all this is I want you to be focused on as I'm going through this, why you want to become a director. Okay, everybody wants to become a director for different reasons. For some people, it's financial. But for a lot of us as directors, it's because we love helping other people. We love seeing other people win. We love being a part of their journey. Maybe you want something flexible, but to have that stable income. Maybe you want to be able to stay home with your family, but you want to be able to contribute more to the family. Whatever your reason is, I want you to focus on why you want to become a director and catch yourself mentally from not saying why you don't think you could become a director. Because believe me, when I would look at the directors as a consultant, I would think, oh, I'm not like her. Oh, I can't say anything inspirational. I don't speak very well. Those of you that know me know that I trip over my words and I say dumb things all the time. But you have to focus on the good, okay? So catch yourself whenever you say yourself saying, oh, I can never do that. Focus on, I could, because I care about people, all right? The other thing I want you to know is that becoming a director, a lot of people tell me, oh, well, I can never be a director because I don't know everything. Or I barely feel like I know what I'm doing. How am I going to be able to help other people? don't worry. There's people that become directors a few months into the business. And so they don't know what they're doing, but you learn as you grow. And just like having team members, they grow with you, okay? So you don't have to know everything. Focus on the good. If you love people and you like helping other people, you'd be a great director, okay? So keep that in mind as we go through this. All right. And like I said in my Facebook post, and I truly believe that this is the best position out there. I believe that it's really the position in Mary Kay where the marketing plan opens up. You have so much more influence with other people. You get to help so many more people. Of course, the income potential is there. There's a lot more prizes. There's a lot more flexibility. There's just so much more available to you as a sales director. So just know that it's not hard and you can do it. All right, so we're going to start with that. All right, so pull up, one more thing, and then we'll jump into it. Hopefully you're pulling up your handouts. I also want you to know that directorship doesn't have to be a all or nothing thing, because like I have some of my girls who they're in school and they want to be, like I'm thinking of Leah right now. She is in DIQ right now and she wants to be a therapist and she's in school to be a psychologist. And it was a breakthrough for her moment when she realized that she can still be in school and be a therapist and be a sales director. Okay, it doesn't have to be like either or, like you're giving up one dream for another. I tell people all the time, become a sales director and see if you like it. If it's for you, great. If you don't like it, you don't have to stay a director. Just like becoming a consultant. I tell people, become a consultant. See if you like it. If it's for you, great. If it's not, great. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain, okay? So it's not an all or nothing thing. And most directors, I will tell you, like a minimum director usually is about a 15 to 20 hour position a week, okay? For me, I do this full time. I am a top director in the company. Most Cadillac sales directors are going to be working about 40 hours a week, okay? So a lot of people, like one of my best friends, she worked a job 60 hours a week at her job, and she became a director and worked her 60-hour-a-week job all the way until she earned her pink Cadillac. And so just know it's not all or nothing. If you love your job, you don't have to give it up. You could do both, okay? Got to say that first. All righty. Okay, so let's pull up the handouts. The first thing we're going to go over is, okay, which I have to tell you. So this first handout, it's Pat Fortenberry's 1099 form, and I know so many of you are so new, you don't even know who Pat Fortenberry is. She is one of the legends in Mary Kay, like legends. She, when I came in, she was the #1 national in Mary Kay. She's retired now, but she actually developed this packet. This Go Director Fast Class is something that she did for her people that wanted to become directors. So everything I'm giving you is from her. So she starts it off with her 1099 form. And the reason why is because that's not just for her. That's for you too. And if you look at this, oh my OMG, like all the way down at the bottom, $905,000 a year. Would that make a difference in any of y'all's life? I know you're on mute, but I'm sure you'd say yes, right? Would that relieve a little bit of financial stress in your life and maybe relieve some tension in a marriage or whatever over finances? Finances are the #1 reason, you know, people get divorced is because it's stressful when you don't have enough. That as a director and as a top person in the company, there's a lot more earning potential, but once again, you have way more influence. So the whole point of this is, this is the lady we're learning all of this from, and it says you can do it too. If she can do it, so can you. She started in her 20s. She was a military wife. She moved all over every 2 years, and she built a huge business. So we're starting off with that because that's available for you too. All right, go to the next page. Well, actually, the next page should be a separate handout, 41 benefits of becoming a sales director. All right, so here are 41 reasons why people enjoy being a sales director. I'm not going to read through all of them, but what I want you to do, because I then want this to be an interactive class where you're not just listening to me talk. I know you're on mute, but we're going to save questions at the end. But I want you to write down notes or circle if you have them printed off. Which of these reasons hit your heart the most? Which of these reasons are reasons you would want to become a sales director? Remember, you have to focus on why you want to become a director, not why you couldn't become a director, okay? Because we all could sit here and talk about, oh, I couldn't be a director because of this and because of this and because of this. Just like we hear people say all the time, I couldn't be a consultant because of this and because of this and because of this. And everything they usually say is why they should become a consultant. And for you, it's why you should become a director. So we're not going to focus anymore on why you can't be a director. Got it? Because if you love people and you want to help other people, you can be a director. I want you to look at this piece of paper and ask yourself, why do I want to be a director? Which of these things would change my life the most and matter the most to me, okay? So this is a little self-reflection. I'm going to just share some of the most popular ones. We'll go through them. Of course, you get to wear a sales director suit, and every year we get a new suit. People love that, which, by the way, this isn't on here, but this year, oh my gosh, this seminar year, they are offering gorgeous purses and necklace and earring sets and a class ring for anybody who becomes a director by seminar. And we're going to talk about that in a second. So that's another little fun little perk is if you're into jewelry, there's always way more jewelry and prizes as a sales director. Top sales director trip, you get to go on the top sales director trip. The unit volume bonus at 13.9%, that means you just get extra bonuses, which we'll go over in a second. I love the opportunity to lead and influence others to success. I love it. I can't say enough that that's my favorite part about this company is being able to work with women and helping them pursue their dreams. Yeah, I have plenty of women who, you know, I can tell you that, I'll tell you right now. You want to know the hardest part about becoming a director? I'm going to tell you right now. I'll let the cat out of the bag. The hardest part about becoming a sales director is seeing other people that you believe in and people that you see so much for, and they don't see it for themselves, like you guys. When you guys don't even know how much us as directors believe in you, that the hardest part about this business is when you don't believe in yourself and you don't get how wonderful you are. And when you give up on your dreams and when you give up and you have doubts and insecurities and you give up on your dreams, that's the hardest part about becoming a sales director. And so just know that, yes, I love helping people, but that's the hardest part. So there, the cat's out of the bag. That's the worst thing that'll happen. But that's also the most rewarding part is to see someone believe in themselves and to see someone actually have the courage to go for something and to step out of their comfort zone and to really go for something big. That's priceless. And you get to be a part of that journey when you're a sales director. But you got to be willing to do it first so you can teach others how to do it. That's how I can share with you guys, is because I was crazy enough to believe that this directorship thing was possible for me too. And because I believed in myself and went for it, I'm telling you guys, you can do it. And the way that you influence other people the most is by you overcoming your fear, facing your fears first, overcoming them, and rising above them and becoming a sales director and pushing through them. Okay, opportunity to become a better speaker and presenter. That's one of my favorites. You guys know that I used to be incredibly shy. Like, I wouldn't even do skincare classes when I first started because that was way too many people for me to talk in front of. Way too many people. Now I've talked in front of thousands of people because I've learned as I went along how to be a better speaker. And so that's a huge gift. You get to attend leadership conference. You get to help with guest events, teaching. I love teaching. I love sharing my knowledge. I love teaching at conferences and inspiring other women and sharing with them what I have learned. But you don't get to teach people if you haven't done it yourself. Okay, a lot of women and consultants in Mary Kay can talk the talk. Oh, they got all the knowledge, but you've got to earn it and have done it and put to work the stuff that you're talking about so that you can help other people and teach at big company events. Do you guys know that says number 18 is attend Leadership Essentials Education in Dallas? Okay, this was another big deal for me. I didn't know how to be a director, just like you don't know how to be a consultant when you start Mary Kay. We have training. Oh, you get to go to Dallas. They do training and education just for new directors. You get to hear from top directors in the company and from national sales directors. They teach you how to become a sales director, okay? One of the biggest fears I hear people say is, I don't know how to become a director. I don't know what that means. What do I do? They teach you. It's awesome. You get to go to new director education in Dallas. They spoil you rotten. They'll teach you, okay? You get to order a product before everyone else. Hopefully you guys know that. Opportunity to build a national area. You get to attend special trainings, director meetings. Do you guys know that as a director, we get Christmas and birthday gifts from Mary Kay Corporate? It's kind of fun. Disability award program. We get to be a mentor and a leader. Build self-esteem and self-confidence in women across the country. Love it. Love it. Love it. One of the biggest, like the things that fires me up is when I go to a conference or whatever and people come up to me afterward and say, Candace, you inspired me, or I get Facebook messages. I just got one the other day. It was a month after a career conference, and this girl reached out to me and was like, I still can't stop thinking about, you know, what you told me at career conference. I love that stuff, that I'm not just helping people in my unit, I'm helping people all across the country. So you get to inspire and help women build their confidence. And you have access to wholesale vendors. That's kind of fun. And the 41 I really like is you make the best girlfriends in the world. My Mary Kay sister girlfriends are the best because they're women who have faced their fears. They're not making excuses. They're not negative Nellies. They're not sitting around and complaining. They're people that are wanting to better their lives, and they're wanting to help other people. And so it's like a sisterhood of directors. It's a really, really, really cool thing. And so those are just some of them. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you may want to become a sales director, but those are just some of the perks, okay? There's 41 for you. I just shared some of my favorites. So I want you to think, and I want you to circle at least 5 or 6 of them. Which of these would make the biggest difference in your life, or would you really enjoy the most, okay? Of course, income isn't on there, but we're going to talk about money in a second. But I want you to think, what are the reasons why you would be excited about becoming a director? Remember, not the reasons why you can't become a director, because if you love people, I'm going to say this over and over and over again in case you don't get it, then you can be a director. Because one of the biggest problems I see with people is they don't feel like they have what it takes to be a director. Just like people don't feel like they have what it takes to be a consultant. People feel like they have to be a certain type to become a consultant. No, you don't. Just like being a sales director. I don't know if you guys went to career conference or went to any big event, you see people of all different walks of life, all different shapes and sizes and personalities. I don't want you to be like me. I want you to be you and just be the most powerful, confident version of yourself. And growing and making yourself better through the process of becoming a sales director is how you become the leader, okay? All right. I get off of my little tangents because I believe that everybody can be a sales director if you're willing to A, believe it, and B, do the work. Do the work. All right. So next thing we're going to pull up is the consultant versus director comparison chart. What this is you're not going to have to understand all of this. Some of you may have seen this before, some of you not. But if income is something that you're really interested in and really creating stable income, which I know, I'm sure if you guys have a job or whatever, I mean, everybody needs to have that security of having stable income. That as a director, we get paid, of course, from our sales like a consultant, but then we also get paid twice a month for our commissions for what our team does. And okay, so here we go. The example says that as a consultant, you basically did $10,000 in a month as a consultant between you and your team. This gives you a breakdown of it. In this example, you make 13% as a consultant. So your commission check would be $1,400 as a consultant. That's a lot for a consultant. I think my highest consultant check was $1,100 my last month in DIQ. So that's really good as a consultant. That's probably the highest, like the cap that you would make as a consultant, I would say, in commissions. Now, this is not including your sales, okay? So $1,400 extra a month. Could anyone get excited about that? I would hope y'all are saying yes. That's great as a consultant. Now, as a director, oh, and in this example, they assumed that you sold $4,000 in a month. So 4,000 retail, so you made 2,000 in the month from your sales. That's what the assumption is. So in the middle of the page, okay, so this top is the examples. You don't have to understand all this, but the middle of the page talks about the extra bonuses you would make as a director for the exact same work. And then down here it says 7,000. You would make 7,000 as a director. Now that means your commission would actually be $5,772, and they're assuming that 2,000 of that came from your sales, your personal sales, selling the product. Because $3,400 was this example as a consultant with their commission check plus their $2,000 in sales. Hope that's making sense. If we're just doing commission straight across the board, it'd be $1,400 as a consultant versus $5,072 as a director. Same exact activity. You're bringing in 5 people with and these are their initial orders. As a consultant, you make $1,400. As a director, you'd make $5,000. Could anyone get excited out there? I hope you're all nodding your head, right? And then down here, you don't have to understand what all that means, but basically these are all the extra bonuses that you get just because you're a sales director. And like I said, you don't have to understand what all of them are, but just understand these first 3 right here. They give you $3,000 bonuses that you can earn in addition to your income your first year as a new director. One of them is at a 3-month point, one of them at a 6-month point, and one of them is at a year point. And that's just for continuing to do the work that you did as a consultant. Let me say something really quickly. So many people are afraid to become a director because they're afraid to lose it. Well, here's the deal. If you keep working and doing the amount of activity that you were doing as a consultant, then you can still become a sales director, or you will stay a very strong director, okay? You don't get a raise at your job into a management position at your job and then think that you're going to work less and just take off for 2 months, right? No. In most jobs, that means you've been given more responsibility. Whereas a director, you're doing the exact same thing. We book, we sell, we recruit. That's all we do. All we do. If you're plugged into Jamie, she preaches 3 to 5, 5 to 10. That applies to us as directors too. You want to go anywhere you want to go in this business? 3 to 5 parties a week will get you anywhere you want to go. You'll get into directorship in the next couple months, and if you keep doing that, you'll be in your Cadillac a few months after that. You're just continually doing 3 to 5 parties. You can go anywhere you want to go, okay? So anyways, got off on a tangent. I probably will do that often. But the whole point is that why would you stop working? All of this is available. That when I became a director and really understood the marketing plan, I was like, what? I get paid all that? Well, I'm going to work a lot harder. I'm going to work a lot harder for the same amount of activity, okay? So, and I did want to just say something really quickly that you guys have all heard my story. You know, I came in as a new consultant, met this lady, Terry, who was making $10,000 a month. A year later, I matched her income, made $10,000 in a month. That was it was 2 or 3 months in as a new director, okay? So I was a new director doing that because I continually kept working as a director, okay? So it doesn't have to take long to get to that point. You get to directorship and it doesn't have to take long. Those of you that want to make $10,000 in a month, you want to become a director as quickly as possible. Now, it took me 10 months to decide whether I wanted to become a director. You don't have to wait that long. You can literally decide tonight that you want to become a sales director. You could get into qualification to become a director, which I'll explain in a second. By May 1st, you could be a director 2 or 3 months from now, and 2 or 3 months later, you could easily be making $10,000 a month, you know, if you're willing to do the work, but it's literally a decision. I went back and forth deciding whether I wanted to become a director or not, but once I finally made the decision, I became a director a few months later. So it doesn't matter how long. A lot of you are on the call or on the Zoom meeting tonight are in all different positions in your business. Some of you are brand new. Some of you have been in for a long time. That doesn't matter. Hear me out. That doesn't matter. I have a friend, Tara Cromer. She's in Jamie's area. She signed up and literally 48 hours later was in DIQ. So she was in qualification to become a sales director 48 hours later after signing up. I think all of you that I saw are on tonight, you've been in longer than 48 hours. So don't let yourself give into the excuse you don't know what to do. You do know what to do. You will learn as you grow, okay? As you grow into the process. So, all right. Basically, as a sales director, you can make a lot more money for the same amount of activity. That's the whole point. This guy is going to give you a breakdown of the average yearly income based off your unit size, okay? So unit of 35, which is a really small unit, and you don't want to stay there very long. You want to continually be growing. You know, we as a unit last month, we had over 30 new people in 1 month. That's a whole unit in a month. So you want to be continually growing and building your unit size, okay? So just this example, rough estimate, unit of 35. That would be, you look down at the bottom, that'd be about an extra $37,000 a year. Now, let me be clear. A person with a unit size of 35 unit members is probably only working 10 to 15 hours a week. Let that sink in. Could you get excited about making an extra $37,000 a year working 10 to 15 hours a week? I would hope the answer is yes. All the way up to 100 unit members. Once again, it's all about numbers. It's all about numbers. When you're at 100 unit members, you're usually easily in a pink Cadillac, easily. And you look down here, $85,000 in a year. Now, a pink Cadillac director, like I said before, usually works at least, I'd say at least 30 hours a week. So it's kind of on average, a Cadillac director works about 30 hours a week. A top director like myself, a top director or $1 million director, our goal is to typically work 40 hours a week, okay? And most top directors are easily making 6 figures. So, and that usually means you have a unit size of at least 200 people. Our unit now is about over 300 people. So the bottom line is it's all about numbers. You get to make as much or as little as you want, just like as a consultant. So there you go. Those are some advantages of becoming a sales director as far as the income. Now, did you see why it's at the top it says, why should I become a director now? Now. Because if you don't become a director now, you're leaving that money on the table. That you get through the process of DIQ and you could be making that money for the exact same amount of activity that you're doing right now, people. So how do you become a sales director? Let's talk about that. All right, we're going to go to this next page. Debut as a director at Seminar 2013. You can cross that out because that's obviously a few years old. But it doesn't matter. The marketing plan hasn't changed. This is still the same, all right? So anyways, I thought that was kind of funny, but it's a PDF. I can't edit it. Sorry. In fact, this is a few years old. I think Pat Fortenberry retired in 2013. But anyways, so this is our marketing plan. If you don't know how you move up in Mary Kay, you start up here, well, in this example, and a senior consultant means you have 1 to 2 active team members. Active means that they have placed their order of, they placed an order of 225 or more in the last 3 months, okay? 1 to 2 active is senior. 3, this is backwards, I don't know if this is helping, but 3 or more is a red jacket. 3 or more active team members. You start wearing a red jacket. These you make 4% commission. You get down here to 5. This is when you get a big raise. Put a big star by number 5. You make 9 or 13% commission. You see the little car over there. You can start going on target for your car, which we'll talk about that in a second. Future director is 8, and then 10 gets you into DIQ. So 10 active team members gets you into DIQ. DIQ stands for Director in Qualification. So you have to be at 10 active and a star, we'll go over that in a second, by the end of a month, and you submit for qualification to become a sales director. You have to have an intent to become a sales director, because here's the deal. Nobody, listen to me, nobody just magically becomes a sales director. Nobody just says, like sometimes I hear consultants say, oh, well, if it happens, it happens. It's not going to happen if that's your mindset, because you have to be intentional. Be intentional about becoming a sales director. They want you to be intentional, so you have to submit for DIQ. You tell the company, I want to become a sales director. You submit for it, okay? Becoming a director, you don't just drift into directorship. It is something you do with intention, okay? So DIQ stands for Director in Qualification. You know what else it stands for? Do it quickly. Yes, don't take forever. DIQ does not have to take long, okay? So once you're in DIQ, I want you to pull up the next page. This is DIQ requirements. And we are flying through this, but you guys can read all this later. You're smart human beings. DIQ requirements to get into qualification, to have all of that I just talked about. What do? You have to go through qualification. To get into DIQ, okay, start with pre-qualification. There's really only two things. Well, I guess you have to be active. Yep, that's probably assumed. So you have to have 10 active personal team members at the end of a given month. You have to be active yourself. And then you must be a STAR consultant, either the previous quarter or the current quarter. All right, so several of you that are on tonight, you came in as a STAR consultant. You were smart, you saw the value of inventory, you came in with inventory. You just have to get to 10 active by the end of a month, and you can submit for DIQ. Now, those of you that were not a STAR, now let me be clear in case you don't know what it means. A STAR consultant is anyone that orders 1,800 or more wholesale in the month, okay? Or in the quarter, sorry, in the quarter. So if you were a STAR last quarter, which ended March 15th, so if you were a STAR last quarter, which ended March 15th, that means you can submit DIQ anytime this quarter. If you are not a STAR last quarter, or you currently aren't this quarter, and if you need clarification on that, ask me. I know I can look at your individual numbers. You have to be a STAR this quarter. So let's say you were not a STAR last quarter, and you wanted to submit DIQ May 1st. You see this and you're like, all right, Candace, I want to do this. What do I got to do? And you're not a STAR. You need to have 1,800 wholesale in for the quarter, this quarter, before you submit for DIQ, okay? So, and it has to be at the end of a given month. So you can't submit DIQ in the middle of the month, okay? So if you want to go into DIQ May 1st, you have to have 10 active April 30th, like midnight April 30th, and you have to have 1,800 in by midnight April 30th to go into DIQ. If you don't get in May 1st, then the next time you can qualify would be June 1st. Does that make sense? You can't submit in the middle of the month. It's at the end of a given month, okay? So I'm telling you, every single one of you could submit DIQ May 1st. You got to believe it, and you got to know, like, that girl did it in 48 hours. If she did it, so can you. She was a nurse. She worked 60 hours a week in the ER, and she figured it out. The key is making a decision. Okay, so the DIQ requirements. You have to have 10 active, and you have to be a STAR the previous quarter. That's what it takes to get into DIQ. We're not going to go through too much of the qualifications, but just know it's really simple. You grow from the 10 to 24. Now, anybody that your people's people bring in counts. So, for example, I'm looking at Erin right now. Erin, you submit for DIQ. Anyone that Shauna brings in, Shauna's on her team, anyone that Shauna brings in counts towards your 24. So it's not just people that Erin brings in, it's anybody that Erin's people bring in, okay, while she's in qualification. So the next page will show you how you can do it quickly. But the only other qualifications are you have to do 18,000 wholesale between you and those 14 or 24 people, okay? So, and then one other thing that is not on here that did change, which is a good thing, is you have to have 5 qualified team members. So you don't have to worry too much about the qualifications. Just know right now, if you're not already in DIQ, I want you focused on how quickly can you get to your 10 active. If you're not a STAR already, how quickly can we get you to your STAR? Because it literally is a decision. I'm telling you. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Next thing, this is 1 month normal. Okay, so DIQ, the other thing I forgot to say on there is you submit for DIQ, and 18,024 you can finish in 1 month, or you can take up to 4 months. I would not recommend taking 4 months. It is easiest to do it in 1 to 2 months. It is easiest to do it in 1 to 2 months. This talks about how to do it in 1 month. And these are your 10 people that got you in. If 3 of them get into their red jacket, that means they have 3 active. That puts you, they all each have 3. That puts you at 19. Then you personally, these are red jackets down here. You personally are bringing in 5 in 1 month. It's gold medaling. You guys can all do it. My goal is to gold medal this week. If I can gold medal a week, you can gold medal in a month. That's the way to go. We'll talk about that in a second. So you would finish. If you start with your 10, you have 3 people get into red, so they each bring in 3. You bring in 5. You're done. You could be a director a month and a week from now. Do you get that? It does not have to take long. You've got to believe it right here and then be willing to do the work, which we're going to talk about in a second. But it does not have to take long. You can be a 1 month normal if you're willing to believe it and then get into action, okay? All right, so 1 month normal. Could you be excited about becoming a director, taking that plan of attack, being a director in 5 weeks from now? You could be a director. All of you could, and have that income potential that I was just talking about, okay? So I want you to know it's available for you, and you've got to think big. That's the other thing that I wanted to share with that with you is too many people, they think small. Well, I've only recruited one person and I've been in for the last 3 months, or, well, I suck at team building. Cut your little tongue off. Don't say that stuff, people. Don't say that stuff. I want you to think bigger. I want you to claim it. You know, a few weeks ago at our meeting, we talked about affirmations and how you are what you say you are. That if you struggle with team building, you better not let that come out of your mouth again. You claim it. I am an incredible recruiter. People want to be a part of my team. I have energy and excitement and passion. You guys, I am this passionate because I tell myself I'm this passionate. I work harder on right here in between my own 2 ears than I work on anything else, because I know if I believe it, then that's going to come out and I'm going to figure out the how. All right? So just know that you can change that thought, and you can literally go from 0 people to 10 people in the next week if you make the decision. Those of you, okay, I really felt the sense of urgency to do this meeting tonight. And the reason why is because we have a week left in April. And if you have any desire to become a sales director by seminar is in July, so you have to finish by June 30th. You have got to get into DIQ by May 1st, because that will give you 2 months. You shoot for 1, but it'll give you 2 months to finish and debut on stage as a brand new sales director at seminar. How amazing would that be, you guys? So I really felt the sense of urgency to do it now, so you guys know that if you have any desire, those of you that went to career conference, if you have any desire to be a director by seminar, you've got to get into DIQ by May 1st to make it happen, okay? And it can happen. And there will be people all across the country that we will hear stories of that are in your shoes right now. And instead of making excuses, they are getting to work and they are figuring it out, because you can make money or you can make excuses. The choice is yours. Do you get that? You can make money or you can make excuses why you can't move up. One of the biggest excuses I hear is, I'm so busy. Guess what? The busiest people do best in this. There are plenty of super duper 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 busy people who are doing this and figuring it out. And I'm not saying that. Please don't for a second say, oh, something's wrong with me. No, there's nothing wrong with you. It's a choice. You make your choices as to how you want to spend your time. And when something is important to you, you figure it out. You figure it out. Like I said, Leah right now, she works full-time. She goes to school full-time. She's a very busy mom, and she's very involved in her community. And she is rocking it out in DIQ. I'm not saying that to compare, because one of the biggest problems you can do in this business is compare, because we will always compare other people's strengths to our weaknesses. So I'm not saying that to compare, but I'm saying that for you to know that it's possible for you too, okay? So you can make excuses or money. You choose, okay? Tangent, once again. Sorry. All right. So, but you guys love me, right? Yes. Okay. Know that I say these things with passion because I care about you and I care about your dreams, and I want you to achieve everything you want out of this business. But you, hear this, you right in between your own 2 ears are the only thing holding you back from moving forward. Do you know the #1 reason people don't start Mary Kay, and the reason they don't really do what they want with Mary Kay, is because they don't believe it, and they're afraid, and they're not willing to believe that it's possible for them too. So I'm telling you this with love, because I care about you, and because I've struggled with the same thing for years, feeling like I didn't have what it took to be a director, feeling like I didn't know what I was doing, feeling like I wasn't a good leader, feeling like I could never be a top director, I wouldn't fit in. Until I realized that I am great the way that I am, and people love me for who I am, even with all my mistakes and all my failures and all my ridiculousness. until I really embrace that, did I move forward and get where I wanted to go in this business. I'm still not there yet, but we're growing. The whole point is that you can do it too. Embrace who you are, fall in love with who God created you to be, and other women will be attracted to that because you give them permission. What I see so many women do is they feel like they have to be perfect and they have to have everything together and they have to know exactly how to lead people. Nobody follows a perfect leader, because that doesn't inspire anybody. You inspire women when you are real and vulnerable and you share your weaknesses, okay? So, tangent, but back to the car, all right? So, I'm gonna explain the car. You guys can read this, but basically, the car program is different than directorship, but yet most people do it at the same time. The car program is your own personal people, and most people, they track the car and DIQ comes at the same time. So your car is your own personal people. You're in the free car, and there's three. I didn't print off all the sheets, but basically you can in DIQ start tracking the Premier car and the Cadillac. We moved right into our Cadillac because of our DIQ qualifications, okay? We can explain more about that later, but this sheet basically breaks it down. You go on target for your car. It says over here how you go on target. When you do $5,000 in a month between you and 5 team members, 5 active team members, you guys could easily go on target for your car this month and be in DIQ May 1st. Every single one of you could. Most people that become strong directors, they earn their car first or during DIQ at the same time, okay? So, car program is your personal people. DIQ is your people's people. We're not going to spend too much time on that because I don't want to confuse y'all, but just know that most people do it at the same time, okay? All right. So now we've explained directorship. We've explained kind of the ins and outs. I'm going to give you a game plan. But before we do that, I'm going to talk a little bit about recruiting, because some of you on this Zoom meeting have lots of people and are great at recruiting and feel amazing about it. But most of you, I know, have some fears or some doubts about being a great recruiter. So I'm going to share with you just some key points about team building, okay? Which, by the way, we as your director will share the business opportunity with anybody and everybody you want us to, okay? So that is not your job just yet until you're comfortable sharing the opportunity. You're going to do most of these with your director. But if you're not local to me, which a lot of you are not, then it's always best to do them in person. And so we can talk about that. You all are at different places, and that is up to you. Okay, maybe she needs me poem. I won't read this, but you should read this. This is a good one. Basically, the whole point of this is that recruiting and team building is not about you. It's about her. Maybe she needs an opportunity like this. One of the big reasons people don't team build is because they feel like, oh, I'm going to look stupid, and oh, I don't know what to say, and oh, she's probably not going to be interested, and oh, this, oh, that. We make up all these stories, and we don't think about her and how this could bless her. I want you to think for a second. Are you not grateful that you're in Mary Kay? Has Mary Kay not at least enhanced your life a little bit, even just a little smidgen since you've been in Mary Kay? Have you not enjoyed the girlfriends, the positivity, the excitement, the energy, the income, the flexibility, the girlfriends, a backup plan? You know, the biggest thing women offer, or Mary Kay offers, is hope. It gives women hope. You guys, I met with a new consultant yesterday who I personally recruited, and she was sharing with me her whole life story. And she was sharing with me all these things that went on, and she just said, you know, I haven't even, it was the first time we'd met since she signed up like 5 days prior. And she's only been in for 5 days. She like literally hadn't even received her starter kit yet. And she's like, only being in Mary Kay 5 days, I feel like there's hope in my life again. I feel like I don't have to keep going down this direction in my life. You guys, I didn't know that she was going through that when I offered it to her. I didn't know what she was going through. I just offered it to her. And she is so grateful. Only 5 days in, doesn't even have her starter kit yet, hasn't even been to a meeting, and she already feels hopeful. That's what we offer women, you guys. So get over yourself. It's not about you. Team building has nothing to do with you and everything to do with other people. Do you know that people are literally screaming for an opportunity like this? Let me share a couple of statistics. I won't go through all this because I still got some stuff to go through. Do you know that 80% of employees do not want to go to work on Monday morning. It's Sunday right now, and some of you work tomorrow, and you're like, not excited about going to work tomorrow. 80% of employees do not want to go to work. Get this. This is a big one. 97% of workers say if they became financially independent, so they didn't need the money, they would not continue with their current employer. Do you get that? 97% of people are just collecting a paycheck. That saddens me. That really saddens me, you guys. This one is funny. Do you know that only 24% of sick days are actually taken for illness? Haha, that's funny. 75% of sick days are not because they're sick. They're sick of their job is what they're sick of. And so what does that mean? People don't love what they do. Women need to have fun. Women don't take time to smell the roses and enjoy their life. You guys, we have an opportunity for women that can literally change their life. But you've got to stop thinking about, what am I doing wrong? And why can't I team build and focus on her? How can I bless this girl? How can I make her day? How can I give her hope? Then you will be a great recruiter when you care about them and it's not about you. All right, there's some great team building tips. You guys are smart women. You guys can read through it. I'm not going to read it to you, but I'm going to share with you a couple of the highlights that I liked from this. At the top, it says, you got to be focused on her needs, like we said, so that you can give her customized information for what she needs. The key is you must be a good listener and you must ask logical questions based off her response. A good interviewer develops good questions that invite information, and a good interviewer listens. You know what people do all the time is they interview like this. Mary Kay's so great, and Mary Kay's this, and Mary, you make all this money and free cars, and blah, 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 and you throw out Mary Kay on her. And she will not listen to anything that you said because she will be overwhelmed. If you want to be a really good interviewer, you do less talking. You get her talking. You ask her questions about her life. These are really good questions. Number 2 has really good questions to start talking with her. Tell me about, oh no, I lied. The first one, gather information. What do you like most about your job and your life? What do you like least about it? This one's a big one. What do you value most in your life right now? What do you need most in your life right now? You better write a star by that question because that's her hot button and the place that Mary Kay might be able to fit in. You know, and most women are going to say, I just don't feel like I have time with my family. I just feel like I'm running around, you know, like a chicken with my head cut off. I just feel like I don't have time to breathe. You know, whatever it may be, that is going to be her need. Okay, but you got to ask her and don't assume. All right, so you ask questions and you explore. Tell me more about Mary Kay, blah, blah, blah. What would you want to know about Mary Kay? Establishing interest level. Overcoming objections. Okay, this is something you got to get really, 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 really good at is people are going to have objections, and there's literally lots of help about this. But what I know about overcoming objections is most women are going to have some objection with team building. The big ones that we get, these are the ones I get all the time, which they're a lot of them are on this page. It's a couple pages over. The biggest ones I get are people not having the money, people not having time, people thinking they're not the right type. Those are the big, I don't know very many people. Whatever her objection is, you've got to go back to her hot button. Go back to her hot button. So let's say she says, you find out that her hot button is she wants to spend more time with her family. So then let's say she throws out the objection of, I don't have $100. Okay, well, Susie Q, if we could show you how to come up with $100 so that you could spend more time with your family, do you think, you know, we could make that happen or whatever? You always bring it back to that. And then this gives you some great words as far as what to say on this page. I like that she said if people say they don't have money, actually, no, she said it over here on this page. I really like what she said. Basically, she said something like, if I could show you how to turn that $100 into $1,000 or $500 in your first week, do you think you could come up with $100? And most people are going to say yes. Or do you think I could show you how to make a few extra $100 a month So you're not having to struggle about that with that extra $100, only on 3 to 5 hours of time. Do you think that we can make that work? If someone, so you always are asking them questions, okay? Just because someone tells you, oh, I don't have the $100. You guys, here's a very deep concept, but this is so true. Whatever objection she gives you is usually the reason why she needs this. Someone tells you, okay, I don't have the $100. That's why she needs this, is because she needs extra money. It's stressful not having $100. If she tells you, oh, I don't have the time, that's why she needs this, is she needs to have time with her family and needs to have a life, right? If she tells you, I don't know very many people, that's why she needs this. She needs girlfriends, right? One of the other great things you can do with objections is share stories. Share stories. I love sharing stories. If somebody tells you they don't know people, share with them my story. My director signed up 2 weeks after she moved to Washington. She didn't know anybody. If you're willing to learn, I'll teach you. Ask them, are you willing to learn? Most people are willing to learn if they really do want this. If somebody doesn't have the money, I always give the story of Miss Abby. I don't know if she's on tonight, but I remember her first week in business, she had to, move things around to come up with $100. Her first week in business, she sold $1,000, taking it home to her family. If people tell you, oh, I'm not a sales type, good. I don't want a sales type. I don't want pushy people. Women's Guard come up and then they want nothing to do with you, right? So whatever objection they give you, don't be afraid of them. Objections are good because that means they're thinking about it. You can overcome any objection. The only one I can't overcome and really don't want to overcome is I don't want to do it. Someone tells me that, all right, bye. But if somebody, I very, 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 very rarely hear people say that. Usually they throw up some objection, but do you know what the number one and what it all boils down to is they're afraid. They're afraid. That's why I always offer a decision maker bonus, because I know people are afraid and I know the hardest part is just starting. So I share with them my fears. Don't be afraid to share with them your fears. One of the best ways you can overcome people's objection is something called feel, felt, found. Whatever thing that they tell you, say, you know what, Erin, I totally get that. I felt that way too. And here's what I found. And so you connect with them. All right, so share stories, connect with them. The other important thing on this page at the bottom is people recruit close to the product. So people recruit closest to the product, meaning once you facial someone, you better interview her or ask her to listen to the career opportunity like right away, like within 24 to 48 hours, okay? Because people recruit closest to the product. If it's been a while since you've had the product on their faces, have an excuse to put the product back on their faces. Do a facial peel night where you let her try the new facial peel. Hopefully you guys are working for this brand new product, which when you do 10 career chats with me by the end of the month, you're going to get to earn this awesome product. That could give you a great reason to reconnect with them and say, hey, I'm the first to get this product. I'd love your opinion. Whatever. Get a reason to be in front of her again. Okay? But here's the deal about team building. Team building's all about passion. It's not about what you say. It's not about having the right words to say. It's about passion. When you're passionate, people want to be going where you're going. When you're headed somewhere, when you tell people, hey, I'm earning a free car. Hey, I'm becoming a sales director. I want you on my team. Women want to be a part of women that are going somewhere, okay? And if you've lost your passion, let's talk, because you need a win, and you need a win and take that passion back and stop giving it away to whoever else you gave it away to. Take your passion back, because it's yours, and you can go get it right back, okay? I'm going to go over this really quickly. You guys can read all this later because I'm going to whip through this stuff because I want to get to the end and give you an action plan, because that's important. All right, this is recruiting do's and don'ts. Here's some big ones. Encourage them. You want to encourage them. You want to get them to their weekly meetings. You want to work on creating a contact list. You want to encourage her to start booking faces. The don'ts. There's 3 big ones. Don't complain about your business and talk negatively around your team members. Don't. You reach up. You talk to me. Number 2, this is a big one. Don't do everything for your team members. You will go crazy. You don't want to enable them. That's called enabling if you do everything for them. So many people, I see them go and do their first party, and I see them go into all this stuff, and they're like, no, nobody did my first party. That's how you learn. Don't do that for them. Mary Kay Ash always said with team members, have them learn while you earn. Bring them with you to their facials. Most of you, your director puts on something local. Bring people, encourage her to bring her guests there. And then the last one is you don't have to worry about talking about inventory or anything like that. That's our job. Our job as the director is to come in and to explain inventory and explain training and explain all that. Your only job as a recruiter is to encourage her, and to love all over her, okay? Everything else the director can do, all right? Okay, so a couple other things, and then I'm going to give you a game plan. This is probably super duper duper important. I mentioned this. We talked about this at meeting a couple weeks ago, which I hope you guys are plugging into meetings, because if you want to move quickly, you have got to stay plugged in. You've got to stay plugged in. Most of us do not have the emotional strength and discipline to do what it takes to move forward in our business without the support of a local meeting. If you're not staying connected, you're crazy. Drive. Make an effort to go to the meetings. If you're not local, get online and at least get something. It's not the same as in person. It's not the same, but it's something. You've got to stay connected. But you've got to work, I can't say it enough, right here, harder here than anything else during this process of becoming a director. So affirmations. Say nice things to yourself, all right? Do you know that I heard it said that women, if we stop beating ourselves up in this business, we would be so much further along. Let that sink in. If you stop focusing on, oh, I did this wrong, and oh, I suck, and oh, I'm a bad consultant, and oh, I'm bad at this, and oh, I'm not organized, and oh, I did that. If you would stop saying those things to yourself, you'd be so much further along. So stop. I'm serious. Love on yourself. Learn to encourage yourself. Learn to say nice things to yourself. I am such a perfectionist and an overachiever that this is an area I've had to work on over the years, is to say nice things to myself instead of being incredibly critical. And it can start with little things. Like, I was at the gym this morning and I hate running, but I get on the treadmill and I say, good job, Candace, you did a minute. Good job, Candace, you did 2 minutes. Good job, Candace, that's 5 minutes. Whew, that was a lot. Okay, but good job, you finished. Like little things like that. Just encourage yourself. Little things. Good job. You made a good decision about whatever, your food choice. I don't care. Say nice things to yourself, okay? Stop beating yourself up, all right? So that affirmations, you really want to work on yourself. The other thing is this. Remember this as a new consultant, the emotional wheel. Put this on your fridge if it is not already. You will go through this wheel. I'm not going to explain it all. Hopefully you've all watched New Consultant Training. You know that you can go from excited to being down in the dumps in 5 seconds. You can be all ready to do this and get off this Zoom meeting and get a no and be down in the dumps and give up. You will get discouraged, but you have got to know how to pull yourself out of these negative places down here and how to pull yourself out of them quickly. Because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. You will get discouraged. You will doubt yourself. You will feel like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Do you know how to pull yourself out of that is the question. Do you have a plan for that? Or do you just let it happen? There's a lot of women, they just let it happen. And then when it comes, they're like devastated. And they think that they're the only ones that are ever discouraged. No, you need to have a plan. And you know the best plan? Talk to your director. That's me. Or your other director. If I'm not your director, I want to hear from you. And you're not meant to do this alone. But I don't have a crystal ball that says, Sarah's having a bad day. She's doubting herself today. I wish I did, but I don't. I don't know what you're going through unless you tell me. Okay, but here's the deal. I'm not stupid either. I know if I don't hear from you, you're having a little downtime, okay? Because guess what? I hear from people who are excited. They got lots to tell me. If you don't got lots to tell me, it usually means you haven't done much. Love you. Okay, so here's the deal is you will get discouraged, but contact your director, okay? And don't hide from your director. When you're, and here's the thing is, you may feel embarrassed. You may want to hide. You may want to pull away, but your director believes in you more than you know. And that's why she reaches out. That's why she wants to hear from you, because she knows you're struggling and she believes in you more than you know. And that's why the meetings are so important. And that's why, staying plugged in is so important. Leaders don't hide. Write that down. Leaders don't hide. Leaders connect and they reach up and they know that they can't do this alone. That they can do this alone. I can't do this alone. You guys, I have people in my life that I that I call and say, oh, I'm having a bad day. I just want to scream or whatever. I have those people in my life. And guess what? It feels awesome just to get it out. And then I feel better. And I'm good. I'm on my merry little way. But just getting it out and not penting it up here is powerful. But reach up and share with somebody who can help you. Yeah, the last thing I'll say about that is if you're not plugged into Jamie's warrior mentality, you're crazy. That has helped me grow, staying plugged into her and being around someone who thinks bigger and is reminding me daily that it's not about me, and to focus on stretching and growing and thinking bigger has helped me be better. So if you haven't signed up for Warrior Mentality, sign up today. All right. So work hard, do here, be prepared for discouragement. Know that you're not alone. All right, the next handout, I'm not going to go through it all, but just know that if you feel like you need help with your image, because for me, I didn't know how to look cute at all, at all. And I needed some help with this. So if you need some help with this, talk to us, okay? Because when you feel great on the outside, you'll feel more confident on the inside. So do you have a power outfit? Go buy yourself a power outfit. Do you think your makeup or your hair looks great? If it's not, if you feel like it's frumpy, do something about it, okay? Do something about it. I'll tell you, makeup is not my strong suit. And anybody that knows me knows that it's not my strong suit. But I have people who tell me, well, looks good on me. Yeah. So find those people. There's lots of them in our unit. I'm not one of them, by the way. Ask Brianna or Jana. They're good with color. Anyways, totally threw them under the bus. All right, the last thing I'm going to go over to is the how, okay? Because all of that is great, and you can read all that stuff, but I want to give you a game plan before we get off tonight, okay? I want to give you a game plan. I want to give you a plan of attack, because I hope that after all my rambling, you're excited about becoming a director, and you've heard me say enough times that you can do this. Every single one of you that are on tonight, you have what it takes. You're on because you're a leader. Now, some people are naturally born leaders, but some people like myself, we're not a natural leader. And I had to grow into leadership. And it's a process that I had to grow into. But I was willing to do the activity. Here's something I'm going to share that's really, really deep. And I hope you understand this, because I actually heard Jamie say this. I'm at Career Conference, so I'm copying her. But it really resonated with me, because this was totally me. My belief and my confidence in myself was so low that I didn't believe that I had what it took to become a director. And I was working on myself, and I was doing those affirmations, and I was staying plugged in, and I was listening to positive thoughts, but I still had extremely low belief in myself. And I knew I couldn't control how long that would take for me to believe in myself, because you can't control that. You just work on it. But you don't just magically wake up one day and believe in yourself, okay? So I knew I couldn't control that. I could work on it, but I couldn't control my low belief and my thoughts about myself. But what I could control was the activity. And I could get to work. And that motivated me, because I know that I'm a worker, and I know that I have a great work ethic. And even though my belief wasn't there, and I don't know how long that was going to take for me to believe in myself, I knew that I could control the activity, and I knew that I could work, and I knew that if I worked hard enough, I would eventually become a director, and the belief would come in the process, and it did. So don't wait till the belief is there. Don't wait until you believe that you can become a director if that's something you struggle with. Do the work. Just get to work, and then the confidence will come in doing. What I see too many people do is they sit and they think about it, and they overthink it and overanalyze it, and don't just work. When you get into action, the results will come if you're doing enough activity. All right? So I'm going to have you pull up the free car workload. And before I go through this, Jamie preaches 3 to 5, 5 to 10. And whatever you connect with more, whether it's 3 to 5, 5 to 10, or this, run with it. Pick one. However your brain works, run with it. I'm going to explain 3 to 5, 5 to 10 while you're hopefully pulling this up. 3 to 5 is 3 to 5 parties a week. Parties are at least 3 or more people. And then you share the business opportunity with 5 to 10 people. You do that every week. You can go anywhere you want to go. Those of you that work full time, before you give me an excuse telling me you can't find the time, break it down. 3 parties, that's usually about a couple hours. I share the information right afterwards. You know, that maybe is, we're looking at 9, 10 hours a week for an extra lots of money and becoming a sales director, okay? I think if you really want this, you can find the 8 to 10 hours a week if you really want it badly enough, okay? That, like I shared last week on Tuesday night, most people with time management, it's not a time management issue, it's a priority management issue. It's a they don't want it badly enough issue. So they find all these other things to do and don't value it enough because they don't value themselves enough to make the time for it, okay? So if that's you, we need to talk. We need to figure out what's really, really holding you back besides time, all right? Tangent. But free car workload. All right, this guy, if you want to earn a free car, prove me wrong that if you don't do this activity in 1 to 4 months, you won't have a free car. And this is the same for directorship, just sometimes people understand the a free car versus directorship, okay? So this is a breakdown. Some of you may have seen this before, but if not, it's 28 hostesses. So you have 28 parties of 3 or more people. And then interviews. That means you share the business opportunity with 56 people. You share the business opportunity with 56 people and do 28 parties in 4 months, not a year, in 4 months, and you prove me wrong that you can't earn a free car, okay? This works if you track it and you do the activity. Now, let me give you the words of how this is magic and how this works. All right, you tell people, which, like I said, most people earn the car in directorship at the same time. It's just other people tend to understand a free car easier. So you say, hey, I'm earning a free car. And right away, their ears are going to perk up. Really? You're earning a free car? And you say, yes. Part of my workload, because people understand workload because they have that at their JOBs, right? They have that at their job. So you tell them, I'm earning a free car, and part of my workload is to do 28 parties and to share the business opportunity with 56 people. Is there any reason you couldn't help me? You shut your mouth, remember? You ask, is there any reason why you couldn't help me with my free car workload? And then you shut your mouth and you smile real big and pretty, and they will want to help you. And so they can be a hostess. And then when you go to your parties, you pull out this paper at the beginning and say, thank you, Sarah. Sarah's my hostess today, and I'm so thankful for Sarah. She is helping me earn my free car. I'm earning my free car. And part of my workload for earning a free car is to have 28 hostesses. Look, we put Sarah's name right here. So I need 27 more hostesses. If you would like to be a hostess for me, we can book that before we leave tonight. So you can either help me by being a hostess or you can listen to the business opportunity. Now here's where it's brilliant. You say, I need 56 people to just listen to the business opportunity. You don't have to be interested, and it's okay because 40, what are the numbers on this? I think it's 42 of you will say no. So I'll share with 56 people. 42 of you will say no, and that's okay because 14 of you will say yes, and I'll earn my free car. You give it away to them, and you tell them, I just need to work these numbers. I just need to fill this little line. Will you fill one of these little lines for me? You're taking it away from them and saying, you don't have to sign up. 42 of you are going to say no. You could be a no, but you could also be one of the 14 that says yes. They don't know, okay? So this, if you really use it correctly and you use that verbiage and you say, I'm earning a free car. Part of my workload is this. Is there any reason you couldn't help me with one of those things? Shut your mouth and smile real pretty. They will help you, okay? So this activity, do it in 4 months. Prove me wrong, you can't be a sales director, okay? That's the activity. So either run with that or run with 3 to 5 parties, 5 to 10 a week. That is the activity that it takes, okay? If you want to be into directorship May 1st, we're going to break that down really quickly. But before I do that, I'm just going to share this little guy you can read later because I want to get through all the handouts because that's just my personality to get through them all. But read these, attend all Mary Kay functions. If you cannot attend something local, here's the big thing I want you to write down. Stay connected to Candace. Because if you cannot attend local meetings, you better stay connected to me. You better be attached to my hip via my phone, okay? I want to hear from you because attending local meetings and staying attached to your directors are 2 things that will get you anywhere you want to go because we can help you pull out of those pity parties quickly. But if you pull away from us, if you don't attend meetings, if you don't stay connected, you will get further and further and further and further away, and it's harder to get you back in. So those two things, you stay connected to your meeting, you stay attached to your director, you can go anywhere you want to go, okay? Because she cares about you. You can go through all of them. Affirmations. You should do them. They work. I'm telling you, people. Have goal posters, evaluate your appearance, organize things. Get organized. Get organized. Get organized. One of the big things I hear people say is, I just don't feel organized. Take an hour and get yourself somewhat organized. I'll be the first to tell you, my office is not crazy organized. And I had to let that go. But I'm organized enough that I know where things are when I need them, the important things, okay? A lot of it you can let go, and a lot of my consultants I hear are using that as an excuse. Get it organized enough. Don't have to be OCD, but do it so you can operate, and then don't let that stop you. And the last one's get to work. Duh, we all know that. You got to get to work, right? Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up here, people, I promise, because I know I'm just so excited. I could talk about this forever. But here's the deal. If you want to be in DIQ by May 1st, if you have any desire and you're crazy enough to believe that this is possible for you, which why not go for it, right? Why the heck not, right? If you're going to do it quickly. Get in as soon as possible, because you could literally be a director 2-3 months from now, but you've got to get into DIQ as soon as possible and not give into the excuses of, well, nobody else wanted to recruit. No, when you're passionate, you will recruit everyone you talk to, or you'll have a much higher recruiting ratio, I promise. Okay, so that girl, Tara, that got into DIQ in 48 hours, here's what she did. She made a list of 100 people. So this is what I'm going to encourage you to do. Write this down. This part's not on your notes. Write this down. Make a list of 100 people. 100 people in your life that could use more in their life, more money, more time, more flexibility, more confidence, more friends. And the big question to ask is, do you like her? That's important. Very important. So Tara made a list of 100 people, and she contacted them in 48 hours, and she said she didn't even make it all the way through 100 people. She made it through 70 or 80 or something like that. So she had to be willing to talk to that many people. Did you get that? She didn't just talk to 10 people. She was willing to do the numbers, and because she had a time frame, she had to work through a lot more numbers. Now, if you can't get to 100, get to at least 40 or 50. I know you guys know people. Y'all have more than 40 Facebook friends. I know you know women who want more and need more, but the key is you can't prejudge. No prejudging. No prejudging, people. Prejudging means you make the decision for her. You say, oh, well, she wouldn't want to do this because she has a great job. Oh, she wouldn't want to do this. She's too busy. She wouldn't want to do this. She don't have the money. She don't have the time. No. Do you like her? Would you be upset if someone else recruited her? Ask her. So make that big list. Shoot for 100. If you can't hit 100, at least shoot for 40 or 50. And then you tell her your goal, and you ask her to just listen to help you with your training. Right now, we have, I've issued a challenge to have you guys share the opportunity with 10 people. It was 10 in 10 days, and you have till the 27th to earn one of the brand new products that you guys are going to want, because it's hot and it's going to be a big seller. And all you need to do is have 10 people listen to earn it. But I wouldn't stop at 10. I would shoot for 20 or 30 people, because if you have 20 people listen, you get 2 of them. If you have 30 people listen, you get 3 of them. So why not shoot for 30? So I would say if you want to be in DIQ by the end of the month and you have 0 people, you better make a list of as many people as you can. Shoot for 100, and you start asking them to just listen. Tell them I have a huge goal, and I know that this may not be for you, but I need you to just listen. And you set up times. We communicate. We find times that the 3 of us can talk, me and her and you, or just me and her, and I share the information with her. Or if you're comfortable enough sharing the information, you share the information with her. But most of you I know are not comfortable enough doing that. But all I'm saying is you got to be willing to work the numbers. I think that if you could get 20 people to talk to me, to have an actual conversation with me, either in person or over Zoom, where I can see their eyeballs and I can speak into them and I can connect with them, you get at least 20 people in front of us. And I would be shocked if you weren't on target for your car this month, if not in DIQ, if they're sharp people and in the target market. Okay. So I would shoot for at least 20 people to share with between now and the end of the month, and tell people I have a huge goal and I need you to just listen. I'm moving up my business, and I need you to just listen, okay? So here's the deal, people. I know I just shared a lot of info. It's very normal to be intrigued, but yet afraid. Just like a consultant, someone who, you're trying to recruit, they may be intrigued, but they're afraid. They don't think they could do it. They don't know how they would do it. They don't know if they could do it. They don't know if they'd be any good if they, they have all those same fears and doubts. You have those same fears and doubts, I know. And I want you to know that fear is probably really the only thing holding you back right now from really jumping all in. Because I believe that if every single one of you actually really jumped in and really went for this and didn't hold yourself back with your own limiting beliefs and fears, every single one of you could be a director in the next 2 months, easily, if you don't hold yourself back. And we let fear hold ourselves back. So what is your dream? What is it that you really want? And are you going to let fear stop you from pursuing that? Because that's really the only thing that's standing in between you and all of this that I talked about. And whatever your dream may be, whether it's Mary Kay related or not, this can be a vehicle to help you have the influence, to have the income, to have the confidence to reach whatever that dream may be. So don't let fear hold you back, because it's normal to be afraid, but fear is paralyzing. You guys, I had a ton of fears. I'll just share some of them. And if you are interested, I want to hear from you. If you want to be a director, I want to hear from you, not text. Text doesn't count as communication, people. I want to hear your voice. I want to talk to you on the phone. Or Voxer is second best. I want to hear you. I want to hear your excitement, and I want to hear your fears. And whatever your fears are, we need to talk through them. And you need to know that they're normal, but you also need to know that we need to talk about them. I had tons of fears. I was so afraid of failing. I was so afraid of, putting myself out there and then not making it. I was so afraid of whether I could keep it. I was afraid to lead. I was afraid whether anyone would follow me. I was afraid if I had what it took. I was afraid if I could do it. I don't like being the center of attention. I am never that person that will, that would initiate conversation. And as a director, I had to be the center of attention. I didn't like that. I was afraid of that. I didn't think that I'd like that. And I didn't feel like I was a good teacher. I didn't feel like I was a good leader. I had lots of fears and inadequacies, you guys, but I didn't let it stop me. I got into action, and I was still afraid. I did the work afraid. That's the thing. Don't wait for the fear to go away, because fear is paralyzing. It will literally paralyze you, and you're dead in your tracks. And if you know anything about the Bible, any great leader was afraid. You look at, Gideon. God gave him a dream and a vision, and he had to, he had to put out the fleece thing, and he had to question over and over and over again. Are you sure? Are you sure, God? Any great leader has fear. Any great entrepreneur is scared to death, but they do it anyway. And the only way that fear goes away is once you get into action. So don't let fear stop you. Get into action and start doing the things that I'm telling you, guys. Now is the time to make it happen. If you have any desire to debut on the seminar stage, now is the time. We need a few more people to get into DIQ and to finish directorship for us to reach our goal of $1 million, but then to reach the bigger goal of national, we need people to rise up. We need women to be brave enough to believe in themselves. That we are, our Facebook page is called The Courageous Area, because that is the name of our future area. I am looking for women who are willing to be courageous. Women who are willing to step out of their comfort zone. Women who are willing to be brave and to really go for something, because here's the deal, you guys. You can choose to be comfortable, or you can choose to be courageous. You don't get to be both. You don't get to be both. You can stay in that comfort zone, which there's a great poem that I may wrap up with at the end, called Comfort Zone, or you can choose to be courageous. But you can't have both. It takes courage to go for something. It takes courage to put yourself out there. It takes courage to say that that you want to do this. But it takes even more courage to stick with it, especially when things maybe aren't going as you anticipated, because guess what? They won't go as you anticipate. I'm telling you that right now. Okay? That's why you need me, because I've been there and I can help you. But that's how you grow. You become the leader through that process of, wow, this isn't working out the way that I thought. And you have a little pep talk with me, and we pick you back up and we keep you going. And you grow in the process. You are not a director yet That's why you go through DIQ, because that's when you grow into the leader that God has called you to be, if that's the calling that you're feeling. Because I truly believe that for me, it was a calling. It was a calling on my life to be obedient to the calling that God put in my heart to lead women. But I had to face my fears and do it. I had to be courageous. I had to put myself out there and then get into action, even though the belief wasn't there. Does that make sense? And the belief came in the process. And you also have to know that it's so not about you. That by you becoming a director, you're going to influence hundreds of women. You guys, if you think about it, 24 women's lives will be changed because you chose to go for something big. And it's not just those 24 women. They have husbands, they have kids, they have families that they influence, that they directly impact. That by you becoming a unit, you're going to influence probably minimally and really affect minimally 100 lives. Minimally. Because you were brave enough to go for something big and change other people's lives. Because here's the deal. There's women out there that are waiting for you to step up. There are women that you know that I don't know, and that they will connect more with you than they'll connect with me, that their lives will be changed because you have a goal. But if you don't have a goal, when you don't have a goal, you're wimpy. That's just in general. When we don't have a goal that we're passionate about, we're wimpy. And we're like, well, if you're interested, great. But when you're excited about something, you're like, I'm becoming a director. I need 10 women on my team. I want you. You want to do this. This is fun. You want to be a part of this. That excitement and that purpose, people will join to be a part of your team because you were crazy enough to go for something. All right? So I encourage you to be courageous, to go for this, to make your list of women, and let's start asking, because you got nothing to lose and everything to gain. And there are literally women out there who are screaming for an opportunity like this, but you have got to be brave enough to go for it and think about her and change her life. But we need you guys to step up. We need leaders to step up, because this is something that I can't do on my own, that, you know, us as directors can't do on their own. We need leaders like you to step up. So if you're on tonight, you're a leader. And there was a reason that you joined tonight. If you're interested, let's talk. If you're not, that's okay. You know, but if you are and you're just afraid, then we definitely need to talk. Because believe me, we're all afraid. But if I can do this, I promise you guys can do this. All right? Is it going to be easy? No. Does it just happen? No. But is it going to be worth it? Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so I'm going to end with this little poem, The Comfort Zone. You guys can read it because I don't know, it's a good poem. All right, because we all have a comfort zone. I used to have a comfort zone where I knew I couldn't fail. The same four walls of busy work were really more like jail. I longed so much to do the things I'd never done before, but I stayed inside my comfort zone and I paced the same old floor. I said it really didn't matter, that I wasn't doing much. I said I didn't care for things like diamonds and furs and such. I claimed to be so busy with the things inside my zone, but deep inside I longed for something special of my own. I couldn't let my life go by just watching others win. I held my breath and stepped outside to let the change begin. I took a step, and with new strength I'd never felt before, I kissed my comfort zone goodbye and closed and locked the door. If you're in a comfort zone, afraid to venture out, remember that all winners were at one time filled with doubt. A step or two and word of praise can make your dreams come true. Greet your future with a smile. Success is there for you, for everybody. So let's all do it together, guys. So there you have it. There's directorship. It's awesome. I love it. Best job ever. And it's available for you too. You can have my job. All right, guys. That's it. If you're interested, let's talk. I do want to open up for questions, though. So if you have questions, I want you to unmute yourself because you're all unmuted. So if you have questions, I'm going to hang around if y'all have questions and tell me, or go ahead and ask questions. If you don't, and you guys need to go, thank you so much. And I want to hear from you. All right? Questions? Questions? Someone else have a question?
Hey, Candace. Can you hear me, Candace?
I can.
Hey, sorry. I had to plug my computer in last minute because the battery's going to die. My laptop.
Okay, good.
I did have, what was it? Oh, the warrior mentality you were talking about with Jamie. Is that the one that I signed up for, or is that something in addition? Is that the one that's starting like next month? Or?
Yep, that's that one. Yep. So you're good. Okay.
And then
and I'm proud of you. You stayed up all night or the whole time. Ashley's in Florida, so she was worried about staying up the whole time. So good job, Ashley.
I'm usually asleep for like 2 hours at this point. I had a question. I have a question about the seminar. When do you have to register by?
They will start registration next month. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they usually close down registration the end of June, usually. So I think by the end of June. And for those of you wanting to go to seminar, oh my gosh, you should all go to seminar, by the way. We have a hotel. We have all that stuff figured out. Just register. And I'm going to be talking a lot about mapping out a plan for seminar to pay for with your sales, because that's really important. You can pay for it with your sales and start now.
Okay.
Good question. Good. What else? Anyone else have questions?
This actually doesn't have anything to do with what you were just talking about, but I went and put an order in tonight, and the last 2 times I put in orders.
Oh. Uh-oh. We can't hear you, Ashley, but
there you go.
About ordering what you and I can talk later, honey. Sorry, I can't hear you, but.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Are they not selling the lip primer right now? Because for like 3 orders, I haven't been able to find it.
I don't know. I'll get back to you, honey. I'll get back to you on that. I'm not 100% sure. It should be there, I think, on limited edition. But yeah, I'll get back to you on that. Yeah, we're talking about directorship stuff now. I'll look into it, okay? I'm not even 100% sure. I don't know why it wouldn't be there. I'll look. I'll get back to you. Erin, I see you're unmuted. Did you have a question?
Yes, I was actually just going through my notes. On the recruiting do's and don'ts, you were saying don't like do the recruiting stuff for them, or like don't do this stuff for them. Do you like debut parties? Are they like a no-go in your opinion? I'm just curious.
So again, debut parties, what?
What are your thoughts on those? Like for a new recruit.
Personally, and this is just my personal opinion. Everyone has different opinions on them, but I think it's best to have them just get started doing their 30 practice faces, to be honest.
Okay.
Because I have found that when I do debut parties, I do all their safe people and like their mom, their sister, their aunt, and people that they feel really comfortable with. And I feel like that's not fair because they need to practice with those people. And they're going to be afraid no matter what. You might as well be afraid with people you love that love you. You know what I mean? So
right.
That's just my own personal opinion. If someone does come in with the stars, sometimes I'll do it for them. But okay. I think it's best if they do it for themselves. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, because what I found is that I used to do them for a lot of people, for everybody, and then it was making them weak because they would have a debut party and then they had nobody else and then they didn't do anything else. I would rather they start with their friends and family that they feel comfortable with instead of having me do them, which I can facial anybody, because then that'll build their confidence. Build their confidence. Now, what I see too many recruiters do is they feel like they have to do everything for them, and then they don't learn. Nobody right. did them for me, and any strong leader very rarely had somebody else do their first party or their first few parties. So, yeah, they're going to be nervous and they're going to be afraid, and you just encourage them and say, go use Candace's script, go watch her facial video a couple different times and print off the script practice on your little stuffed animals, and then go do it with a real person. Because that's what I did. I literally had my script, I practiced it, said it out loud by myself, and I was pretending, and then I just went out and did it. So they're going to be afraid, but that's how they learn. Good question.
Thank you, ma'am.
Alyssa, I see you're unmuted. Do you have a question, honey?
Yes. Side note, that works. I practice on my husband for facials, for like my scripts. I practice on my husband. He lets me practice on him.
That's the best. Yep.
On the free like car workload sheet, when you were talking like the verbiage, like, hey, I'm earning a free car as part of my workload. What was the rest that you said? I missed some of it.
Okay, great question. Okay, because this is, write this down if you guys didn't write this down, because this is very important and this works, I promise. You tell people, I'm earning a free car, and part of my workload is to have, where's my sheet? It's to have 28 hostesses and to have 56 people just listen to the business opportunity. Is there any reason you couldn't help me with my free car workload? By either being a hostess or listening to the business opportunity. And then you shut your mouth and you smile real big. Okay?
Okay.
And this is always just like everything else in the business. It's always best when it's live. It's either in person or it's on the phone where they can hear your voice. And it's not over text. It's not over Facebook Messenger, because they can't hear your heart and hear that you just need their help. They just need to either be a hostess or listen to the business opportunity. And then here's the second piece of the business opportunity piece. I need 56 people to just listen to the business opportunity. Which, by the way, most people will start with a hostess, and then once they're a hostess, then you ask them to be or everybody that's at the party, you ask them to listen. Okay, so that's how it usually goes, but not always. So you say, I need 56 people to just listen to the business opportunity. This does not have to be for you. In fact, 42 people are going to tell me no. And that's okay, because 14 people will tell me yes, and I'll earn my free car. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you're taking it away from them and telling them, it's okay if you're not interested. 42 people out of the 56 people are going to tell me no, and that's okay, because I'm going to get a free car when 14 of them say yes. That make sense? I think that was Alyssa, right?
Yeah, sorry, I muted myself. Yeah, makes sense. Thank you.
Got it? Okay, good. What else? Who else? I think I see Sharice, you're unmuted. Did you have a question, honey?
Yes. I had a couple of people who were prospects of joining the business, but have not gone ahead and signed up. What do I do now? Do I follow up with them? Do I, should I question them about it if they're still interested?
Okay, great. I would do one of two things. Number one, if they're local, I would try and get them exposed to the product again. If they aren't local, which I know we've talked about, a lot of your people are not local. So I'll start with the first one. If they are local, I would see if you could have them try something they haven't tried before. Like maybe if you've done a facial and they've never done microderm, then you get together with them and say, hey, I have a goal this week to share microderm with 5 people or something. I don't know. Have a reason to get the product on their face again, because people recruit closest to the product. Okay? Now, if you're recruiting people that were interested but haven't tried the product, sometimes they're a little bit harder just because they don't always understand the whole process. But not that it doesn't always work, because there's plenty of people in Mary Kay who didn't try the products before they signed up. So I would contact them, Sharice, and I would tell them your goal. I think that's the biggest thing, is say, look, I'm just a couple people away from a huge goal this month. I know that you had thought about it a while ago and you were interested. Have you thought any more about it? Tell me what's going on. Like, and just let them talk. And maybe like a lot of times they'll throw out some objection, and you can just talk through them, which what happens a lot, Sharice, and this hopefully applies to everybody, is, and I have this happen all the time, so I'm sharing from experience, that I'll share with someone, they're really excited, and then I don't hear from them ever again. And I don't know what happened. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know, do they hate me? Are they totally anti-Mary Kay? Or did they just get afraid? Did they talk to somebody? I don't know what happened. And usually it's like radio silence. And I don't know what to do with that. That if you could have a conversation with them, it opens everything up. And so most of the time, and this doesn't happen all the time where people will communicate with me, but you know, a lot of times I'll ask them, hey, I was thinking about you today. Can you talk for a second? And if they're willing to talk to me, then I just want to talk to them and say, hey, I know you were really interested before. I'm not trying to pressure you. I just want to know what happened. Like, where are we at? And here's the deal is I want to know from her no, does that mean I'm never interested? Does the no mean never? Or does the no mean not right now? Or does the no mean she's just afraid? You know, that's a conversation that can only happen over the phone or face-to-face and not via text. Because it's too easy for people to just go radio silent and then do absolutely nothing. So what I would do, Sharice, is I would see if you can connect with those people again and just have a conversation with them about it. Tell them you got a goal. Tell them you're just a couple people away, and that you just ask. You just flat out ask them, say, hey, I know we talked about it before. I know you were interested. I just want to see where you're at. Have you thought about it anymore? I'd love to work with you. Share what you see in her, and then just see where she's at. And then talk her through her fears and her objections, and you see where it goes. But that can only be done in a conversation. So that'd be my best advice. But if they are local, I would get them. I'd get them to a meeting again. I'd get them to meet for coffee. I'd get in front of them if you can. That's always best. People recruit closest to the product. They always do. So that's why, like, if you facialed someone a month ago and you're just now asking for the interview, that your odds of recruiting go down drastically. You always want to ask them either right then and there or within 24 to 48 hours. Does that help, Sharice?
Yes.
Yes. But I think the key is that you got to share your passion and let her know that you need her and that she matters and why you think she'd be great at this. Share your heart. Good. What else? Who else has a question? All right. Well, if you guys think of any other questions, you guys know how to get a hold of me. But thanks for joining tonight, and I'm excited for you to do this. I really hope and pray that you jump in, that you don't let fear hold you back, and you just jump in. Jump in. It's the only way to do it. You know, just like going swimming. You just get your feet wet. That's painful. Just jump in. It's way more fun. And becoming a director is such an exciting time. I look back over my career, and there are like 4 or 5 pivotal times in my business, which were some of the most exciting times in my business. And one of those was definitely DIQ. It was every time that I went for a big goal. It was DIQ. It was Cadillac. It was earning our top sales director trip. You know, last year doing the extended trip, and then this year with Million. It's exciting going for something big and stretching yourself. Yeah, it's nerve-wracking, and you have days where you're like, oh my God, can I really do this? But it's exciting. It's like watching the Super Bowl. I don't know if your favorite team is in the Super Bowl. You're excited, but you're like afraid, and you're on pins and needles, and you can't stop staring, right? It's the same type of thing. Is that it's exciting. It's scary all at the same time. They go together. So be willing to jump in and go all in, peeps. And I can't wait to celebrate with you. All right, guys. Well, have a good night. If you have any other questions, you know how to get a hold of me. All right. Bye-bye.